Oh, we're at 6. All right. Yes. Perfect. And I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Angie, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, and then you should be able to unmute yourself if you have comments.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now open the budget hearing for comments and discussion regarding the 2024-25 Jervis School District budget. Business manager will now read each resolution in its entirety. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Sure. Resolution number 06-24-8.1.1, adopting the 2024-2025 budget. Be it resolved that the Board of the Jervis School District Number 1 hereby adopts the budget for fiscal year 2024-2025 in the total amount of $73,466,053. This budget is now on file at 291st Street, Jervis, Oregon, date June 12, 2024. Resolution number 06-24-8.1.2, making appropriations for the 2024-2025 budget. Be it resolved that the amounts for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024, and for the purposes shown below are hereby appropriated. General Fund 100s, 1,000 instruction, $12,513,513. 2,000 support services, $6,988,648. 3,000 enterprise and community, $700. 5,000 transfers, $1,578,000. 6,000 contingency, $2,201,517. Total $23,282,378. Debt service 3 times. 5,000 debt service, $3,302,695. Total $3,302,695. Special revenue funds 200s, 1,000 instruction, $3,723,875. 2,000 support services, $1,845,448. 3,000 enterprise and community, $1,404,382. 4,000 facilities acquisition and construction, $1,258,000. 5,000 transfers, $15,000. Total $8,246,705. Capital projects, 400s, 4,000 facilities acquisition construction, $38,630,000. Total $38,630,000. Total appropriations, all funds, $73,461,778. Total unappropriated and reserve amounts, all funds, $4,275. Total adopted budget, $73,466,053. Dated June 12, 2024. Resolution number 06-24-8.1.3, imposing and categorizing the tax. Be it resolved that the Board of the Jervis School District Number 1 hereby imposes the taxes provided for in the adopted budget at the rate of 4.6427 per 1,000 of assessed value for the permanent tax rate, and in the amount of $1,453,000 $6,735 for bonds. And that these taxes are hereby imposed and categorized for tax year 2024-2025 upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district as follows. Permanent tax rate under education limitations, $4.6427 per 1,000. General obligation debt service excluded from limitations, $1,453,735, paid June 12th, 2024. That's all.
That is all. Okay, any member of the public wishing to make comment for or against the 2024-2025 budgets indicate that they wish to speak at this time. For those in person, indicate by raising your hand. For those online, raise hand via the Zoom meeting platform. Any hands? That agree. All right, if no further public comments, we will now open the floor for board discussion on the budget. Are there any comments or considerations the board members would like to state at this time? If there's no further board comments, we will now close the budget hearing and resume the regular board session. Very good.
Okay, end of the year, staff party is on Friday. You're all invited. It's at Top Wire, starts at 3:45 and goes to 7:30. There'll be food trucks there. Beverages are on your own if you're doing adult beverages, otherwise we'll have soda for free. We have some raffle prizes that we're doing. It's a lot of fun. And you guys can go and don't have to worry about quorum. Obviously, you're just there to attend a function, not conduct business. I also wanted to remind you that the summer board conference with OSBA is August 9th and 11th. I have a handout. Around. So it's in Salem and it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will be presenting a session on Friday afternoon. And if you are interested in going, you just need to let Sandra know if she can register you for the conference.
Are you gonna be out of town?
I think I actually am.
These conferences are actually really.
Yeah, they are.
I know,
That's why I'm
like,
if I'm around, I will go. Even if you can only attend a day or
like
two,
one day, yeah.
it's still, there's usually,
I could probably do that Friday, but it suits my wife's birthday weekend,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to go somewhere, but for sure Friday though.
okay.
And at least so watch your
Just talk to
presentation.
Sandra, just
Yeah.
talk to Sandra and she'll get you guys registered.
Okay, perfect.
My girls' weekend. So I also wanted to just make this announcement at the beginning of the meeting. Marion County did not get the election results certified today.
Oh.
The person that actually certifies them is out and it sounds like out sick, so, okay. So the soonest that they were gonna get them to us was either tomorrow or probably Friday, they said. So the hiccup with that is that you have to have the certified results in order to adopt the resolution to proceed with the bond sale. So when we get to that section, of the agenda, you're going to need to pick a date to have a special meeting, which will be like 15 minutes. We can do it via Zoom,
Oh,
but it would need to be like June 24th, 25th, 26th.
what to do about Tuesday?
What
Any day but Tuesday,
Did you say anything about Tuesday?
but Tuesday, yeah.
Okay,
I forgot my phone.
Wait,
could we just do like a 5 o'clock on a Monday kind of a thing?
why not?
Whatever works for you guys, I will make work.
What day is that?
So when do you think we'll have the?
He said the latest would be Friday, but I don't believe him.
It's 14,
Yes,
so and let's say it pushes into the 18th.
yeah.
Could we do it anytime from 19, 20, 21? Any of those days though?
Well, yes, I
If we just do
could
about,
do it the evening of the 19th or the 20th. Either one of those,
Yeah.
Or do- yeah, just- the 19th is fine.
Especially if we just zoom it.
Yeah, if we can just zoom
We can
it.
just zoom in.
Yeah, that's super.
Are you good with that, Sandra? Can you?
On the 19th.
Okay. And what time are, like, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock? What time are you guys thinking?
6 in the morning.
I
We're up at 6
in the morning. I can have 4:30 workout. I can, no, sorry. We'll come at our, yeah.
If we do it at 5,
5,
I can just do it I can just do it from work. I don't have to leave that way.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about traffic. So,
and that way you can be out of here early. Yeah, 5. Okay.
yeah, let's figure 5.
Which is.
That,
The ninth-
19th.
19th.
Wednesday the 19th.
Angie, does that work for you?
Actually, 5 o'clock on the 19th.
Yes.
Okay, I will make sure to do it. It's gonna be close. Yeah, okay, yeah. If it's Zoom, I can probably get that to work.
Yeah, and it'll be like a 15-minute meeting at the most. It's just long enough to
Perfect.
call the meeting to order, read the resolution and go from there.
Done and done.
Yep. I will make sure to be off of work by then.
Okay, I'll get the link set up.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Like I said, was as traumatic as I thought it was gonna be. Okay. That's all I have for announcements.
Anybody want to talk today?
Got nothing to say.
Nothing, you just come to visit?
I did. But actually,
Oh.
it's very informational now. People are complaining. I'm like, well, actually, I learned this at the board meeting. Well, actually. So it makes me feel superior. So I'll probably stay there for a while.
Very good. Very good. Okay, then, announcements. End of year plan, you already went through that, sorry. Oh, approval of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody see anything in minutes that needed to be amended? No,
No.
then I need to move. Make a motion. I move that the Jervis District #1 Board of Directors approve the Budget Committee minutes from May 2nd, 2024, and the regular and executive session from May 16th, 2020.
So we have a motion,
Second.
we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 But no, nobody out there.
No.
All right, on to reports.
So we don't have a student council representative here. It's finals week now and the seniors have graduated, so they're off to whoever knows what they're doing.
Whatever they're doing.
And because we're a week early, we don't have many administrative reports. I do have an update from Andrew about the cell phone policy. Doug, do you want to come up and talk about that just for a few minutes? And then have I made copies of the proposal
Okay.
Andrew sent me. So you want to take this. And Angie, I will get this mailed to you so you have it.
Kind of look like the old, well, they're probably,
Thank you.
don't they?
Yeah. Make a note of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andrew and Doug heard you guys when you know, loud and clear when you talked about cell phones and how do we kind of piggyback on what the middle school's doing. So Doug, I'll leave it to you to talk about how this kind of flushed out, what that looks like.
Yeah, so we heard you guys. We also heard our staff at our last PD. They really voiced a concern. And so Andrew kind of took we're gonna triggers are shooting right now. So we pitched it to our staff. It's about, we need to nip it. And we're gonna do it in a small step forward. So next year, what we're planning on doing with the support of the school and the school board is to, while they're in instruction time, you can see the picture on the bottom is a locker. And when you come in, there'll be a key in the locker. The students will slide their cell phone in the cubby and lock it, and they will be responsible for the key. So at the end of the class, they can go up there, unlock it, get their phone, and they'll do this for every class in the building. So it'd be some additional cost to get those installed. But it's a small step forward to not have them have their cell phones during instruction time, but we'll kind of give them their passing time where they can be on their phones. And then next class, I'll check them back in. I know the big districts now are starting to take, I mean, Grant High School did it yesterday, just to shut it all the way down. If a big district can do it, we can do it. So we would like to take this baby step with the support. I think we'll see the grades rise, we'll see the instruction time, get better as we get, there'll be kinks along the way and we'll work those out. We haven't gotten the weeds yet, but we'll do some work this summer to iron those out and hopefully roll out a great plan going into the fall.
So how many per classroom are you putting in?
Put one unit in each
Yeah,
classroom, they hold 30 cell phones.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then we'll charge the students, if they lose a key, we'll charge them $5 for the key.
Perfect.
That's
Yes.
And their phone is stuck in there, so can't get it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the staff will have a master key to be able to get it. Administration will have a key in case the staff's not there or sub's not there, but we want to hold them accountable for it.
100%.
We think it's the best in the classroom because when the students can see their phone, they're gonna know it's safe. They're not outside the classroom. We want them secured to the wall and not sit on a desk so that we don't be responsible for a cabinet breaking or falling and that kind of stuff. So,
This sounds great.
yep, so we're excited about it. I think it's gonna be a great step for Juris.
Perfect.
Andrew has joined us. Andrew, did you want to chime in about rollout, how we're communicating to parents and students?
Yeah, sorry, I was driving up until 5 seconds ago. Ben had his preschool graduation, so,
Hey.
yeah. It is, yeah, we're definitely gonna do some communications, starting tomorrow, to the community, and then we'll also make sure the incoming freshmen, are also, so the current 8th graders are also understand the new deal we're doing. Staff was really excited today. Obviously, there's a lot of questions they had. And we kept saying, let's not get into the weeds for right now. I mean, we'll work out the kinks. And like Doug was saying, I mean, bigger districts are doing this already. We did contact tracers however many years ago, and that went fine. And so we will make sure that we have a formal process and communication will be had throughout the summer repeatedly to students and staff and family.
Was one of the questions teachers came up is what if the kid doesn't want to do it?
It did, and we addressed that that's in the weeds right
Yes,
now.
I understand.
There'll be a disciplinary as it goes through it. And we'll figure
First step,
that.
second step. top
Yep,
of the big.
we'll figure that out. And then we addressed that there's gonna be dummy phones as well. They're gonna put a dummy phone in there. If we don't catch them, we don't have an issue because they're not on it.
Right.
And so when we see it, then we'll have a plan to how to address that for each situation.
Doug and I will handle, the situation as we go along with kids that want to play the system. I mean, they're teenagers. They're gonna try to do everything they can.
They think they're smarter than everybody.
Yeah. And then another thing that was brought up is we'll also probably ask them to put their,
Oh, they're buds.
You just have.
Their earbuds on there because they'll be connected.
Yeah.
The other comment was, what about all the buzzing in the box with phones going off?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll try to get them to be silenced, but that's the kinks that we'll have to work out as we go,
I
but
guess if nothing else, you could put just little rubber mats or something inside.
we can probably do something, yeah,
Something to
yeah.
make sure that, I'm assuming these are metal.
I think they're they're more
Plastic,
plastic, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just a couple, aren't they?
That way you can see in there, so the students know their phone is safe and secure. That's their life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They think.
they'll put it on silent if you go there and take it and put it on silent.
Figure out a way to make it flash and things like that, so it flashes through the demo.
But it's a
Then
good
we'll have-
step. I think it's a solid
I think
step forward.
And the freshmen should be used to it.
Yep.
So, shouldn't be no big deal for them. It's the
norm.
best in there now.
With a little more leeway for passing time and lunchtime and things.
Well, because they're becoming a little.
I think with anything, obviously just consistency.
Yeah.
You guys will have to weed through all the things that pop up, but being
Correct.
consistent and having all your
your staff be consistent, that's what will really make the difference for it.
That's kind of the way we pitched to the staff. They just, we need everybody on board to be successful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you can't have the one outlier that the system doesn't work when you don't have everybody on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have the buy-in. But there definitely has to be some sort of, I don't know, you need to, if your teachers aren't following either or enforcing it.
Right.
Even just one of them, so you'll have to figure out what those consequences.
We had,
might
we had
be.
a lot of clapping from staff when Andrew announced this today at our staff.
Great. Good.
Sorry, I tapped my earbud twice and it took me off. the Zoom.
So just shy of $2,800 for everything.
Yeah.
All in.
Yeah.
Seems like a very inexpensive way to test some things.
That's a great investment.
Yes.
Are you guys gonna try to implement this during like summer school?
No,
No.
no, it'll be strictly fall. We'll start in the fall.
The summer school for high school kids is gonna be in the student services building, so, and we're not gonna have.
Yeah.
the thing in there.
Equipment, yeah. Yeah, great. Oh, thank you for working through that.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And
Get your,
then,
as I always say,
Go
get your
ahead.
popcorn ready.
We'll see. I'll bet it'll be
Sure we'll
more
see
parents.
Parental comments on the fourth grade.
I'm assuming it'll probably be more parents than kids.
This might get more talk than the bond.
It could.
But
All right,
we do very much appreciate the board's support on this and we think it's the right decision, so.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Karen is next for financial reports.
So I have part two of my board report, because part one was in the board packet, but part two is right here today, and it's in with your papers there. So the two main things I wanted to point out is this month, our end fund balance projection went up considerably. It was good, you know, as you kind of work through some of the projections fall off, and then we, you know, and so they're looking more at the actuals, and so, but I still think it's gonna decrease and get down closer to that 1.9 million by the year end, which is what we were projecting to bring in from the general fund, not without Frontier Charter. So, that's good. I was getting a little worried about it as I was watching it, but it's looking better now. Now the supplemental budget, you'll see I've added something here. I've been watching these figures. So first of all, you know, our funds are fine. But the reason I'm putting the supplemental budget in here is because when we set our budget for 23-24, we set it based on a $9.9 billion state school fund. We ended up getting a 10.2 billion state school fund, which allowed us to add teachers and, you know, some other staff that we were in need of. So we were basically spending what we had been, you know, given. What's happened is that all of, or not all of them, quite a few of our categories, because we have to budget by the expenditure. They don't look at what do you bring in and what do you spend. It's just based off the expenditure. And so we are getting really close, like uncomfortably close to going over on some of these. And so I kind of wrote down some, and I will say there was one little error here. When I said on the 200s, and then I said the 2000s, there's currently a 227 cushion. That actually, that cushion is fine. That, because that 200,000 for transportation comes out of the general fund. So what I'm looking at, and part of this is brought on too, because the ESSER funds we were going to spend on HVAC at the elementary school, which is where that budget, you know, was put, which is at 4,000, is now being moved up to 1,000 for the staffing things instead. So what we're looking at is in the general fund, For the 100, 1,000 function, that's fine. That's gonna be fine. For the general fund 2,000 function, that's where the transportation, issue comes in. When I did the report, we had 6,125 not accounted for. So I look at expenditures to date plus encumbrances, and we had 6,125. We're now down to 4,225 since we processed a small batch of checks in payroll. So now we have 4,225 not accounted for. And we know that we're gonna have about 200,000 in transportation expenses coming in still. So I am looking at somewhere around $350,000 supplemental adjustment for that, just to make sure we have enough of a cushion. There is still things going on in the district. We're kind of getting the Sam Brown ready for, to be our new transitional program over there. And so those are, there are expenses that are going on with that, as well. So I want to make sure that we don't put an amount in that's not gonna cover it. And, maybe all the encumbrances don't pan out, but I think most of them will. And then the next area is in the 200 fund for the 1,000 function. That one effectively is down to about 17,000. And we are still kind of buying supplies and beefing up for summer school right now. And summer school, when we will have some paid out of, some summer school payments for the June portion out of there as well. So I'm looking at maybe bumping that up to about 200, an additional 200,000. And then the last area is in the 200 fund for the 3,000 function, which is food service. They have 37,000 unencumbered. Now they might not spend all of their encumbrances, and they will have, and again, they have more revenues coming in, but it doesn't matter because it's all about the expenditure line. And they might need it, but I would just like to maybe put about 100,000 more there just to be sure, because we've got, the rest of the payroll to run. We run part of it, but we do have the rest of the payroll to run. So because we are having a June meeting now, we have time to get supplemental budget put in, posted in the paper, and then do that at that additional meeting on the 19th.
So you understand why we're asking for a supplemental budget? It's not that we are not overspending on our budget.
And that's for this.
It's for the current year. It's
Yeah.
that
Making
last
sure that I'm
year,
okay.
last year in April and May, when we had our budget hearing, we said, hey, we're gonna spend X number of dollars for teacher salaries.
Mhm.
Well, we got to spend X plus 1 because we went from 9.9 from the state to 10.2. So that allowed us to add more staff because the state increased our funding. So we have not overspent in any category of money that we don't have available. We just we underestimated because we were going at a 9.9, not the 10.2.
And now you're moving the money and I understand that, but the ESSER stuff, that
Yeah.
was for the HVAC system.
So-
Explain to me.
So the HVAC would have been in a 4,000 function
Uh-huh.
for a capital improvement. Instead, we're putting it to offset staffing, so that's a 201,000.
Okay.
And that's the issue there with the 200s, 1,000s would be fine if not for that.
So
going
we're using it to use it for staff
in. Right.
expense versus because we got the bond, right? So
Right.
you're just moving it around.
Right. And remember, we had the conversation back in the winter when we were unsure about what the ending fund balance was gonna look like. Do we use ESSER to make sure we have enough general ending fund balance? Or do we use it for HVAC?
Mhm.
And the board decided, well, we were gonna ask for the bond amount.
Yeah.
to Cover all of the HVAC, so it was the ESSER for.
Yep.
For
Yeah.
what the Fed said it was for.
Yep.
So everything's fine as far as all our balances and how we're ending the year. It's just, I need to
Just make sure.
have the appropriation
Yep.
to support the areas we're spending in. So,
Right.
Okay. Okay. And that, yeah, and if there are no questions, that was the main thing that I wanted to go over, and I want, because it's gonna be, I'm gonna be posting it in the paper and then sending out with whatever board for that meeting. Okay,
Yep, perfect.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay, and in my report, the rest of it's all throughout the agenda, so we'll, let that go for now.
Anything on board focuses? Consent items.
Unless you remember me adding something on. our agenda.
You
I
didn't
don't-
tell me anything.
Yeah, okay, okay. May have forgotten. Good now.
You'll see you have a revised consent agenda which is on the table, and all of the items in red were additions from the first consent agenda that you got in the packet. So a lot of these are for summer school, and also we've gotten a jump on the extra duty contracts for next year. So get that done. You'll notice under 7.3, Kaylin Dees has submitted her resignation. She and her husband are moving down to Southern Oregon. That's where they're from. He had a really good job. She actually got a job at one of the little districts down there as I think it's a reading specialist. So we have posted for her replacement.
You don't want to drive from.
She didn't want to drive Grants Pass. I said, what, you could work remote some days, but she didn't take me up on that. I thought that was really rude of her.
Mhm. Oh, or at least no more soccer coach, huh?
Yeah, he is tired.
Yeah. Doing it a while.
Yeah.
Did anybody have anything they needed to talk about in consent item? Or move? Okay, are you guys okay with me making a motion?
Yep.
I need that the Jervis District Number 1 Board of Directors approve the consent items as listed in mass. 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, 7.6, 7.7, 7.8, and 7.9.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Yeah, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good, thank you.
So it looks like we can adopt the budget, right?
You're
So
up.
can I make a motion? Okay. I move to approve resolution number 06-24-8.1.1, adopting the 2024 through 2025 budget in the total amount of $73,466,053 as presented.
We have a motion.
Does anyone have a second?
Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 I move. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Just, we forget you're in law, it's in webland.
Webland, yeah.
I
move
know,
to
you guys are too quiet over there without me.
I motion to approve resolution number 06-24-8.1.2, making appropriations for the 24-25 as presented.
Motion,
We have a second.
second. Discussions?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I motion to approve resolution number 06-24-8.1.3, imposing and categorizing the tax at the rate of 4.6427 per 1,000 of assessed value for the permit tax rate and in the amount of $1,453,735 for general obligation bonds as presented.
We have a motion.
Second.
Got a second? Discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All done, Karen.
Next action item is looking at your board work sessions and regular session meeting dates for the 24-25 school year. I talked with Angie briefly. Angie, was there anything that you found in conflict of these dates at this time?
You know what? I didn't closely look over them.
That's fine. I think if you look over them in the next month or so, if you find something, there's plenty of time for the board to be able to make that adjustment. at that.
Yeah, I just need to relook at the calendar. I don't have it at home right now.
Yeah.
What, the adoption of authorizing resolution, what is that?
Well, you need to
Or the-
do 8.4 board work session. And regular session, we need to approve those dates, which is on page 30 of your packet.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna go with this. She'll look at it.
Yep.
Yes, now,
Mhm.
got it. I move that the Jervis School District #1 Board of Directors approves the board meeting for 2024 through 2025 as shown on agenda item 6-24-8.4.1.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
I just wanted to say really quick, so a lot of these dates I have to, the calendar hasn't been made yet for the following year. The people that work on those, they only kind of give them out towards the end of the year. So it's hard for me to schedule those until I get them, but I do know that December 19th will not work. I'm so sorry. Just looking it over again.
So what
But
I
I'll
would
get back.
suggest is in August, when we get back together in August, we'll
Mhm.
have a work session. We can talk about it in August to rework it and then go from there.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you.
So, did you guys pass the motion? Yeah. Did they pass it? Okay.
Yeah.
So 8.5 and 8.6 are what we're postponing for the special session.
Yep.
So now we're on to 8.7, approval of Frontier Charter Funds for the turf field. And we have Doug here to present all of his fabulous work on what he's got going on. So Doug, you're in the hot seat.
Some little packets for you guys, just to kind of look at the rendering of the field
Ooh, solid.
and kind of walk you through it. So my biggest concern for this whole thing is excavation. Because without, excavation costs are huge and all these prices are without excavation. And about 4:30 today, I got a call from JJ, who's been helping me work, and we're about 99% sure we have secured an excavator who's willing to donate the whole thing.
Awesome. Wow.
So man, so we've
Yay!
been working with it.
Sorry. Woo!
I said his last name wrong,
And Mr. Kalugan.
Kalugan.
Oh, very good.
And he's like, what can I dig out? Cause he's thinking the whole property. We're thinking the football field and we're thinking the softball field. So that's a huge thing. I wanted to start June 24th, but the conflict, we're projected to start July 1st with the excavation. So the prices on top are what it's gonna cost us for the football field with shipping on page 1. So you go to page 2, I just wanted to put a logo there so you guys gotta visualize how big the G is gonna be in the middle of the field. So it's gonna stand out, which you'll be able to see. On page 3 is a softball field. We first got a quote for the entire softball field. So that was a complete problem for the entire softball field. And with shipping costs, I have a final breakdown on the very last page. But with funding and stuff, we're gonna go to page 4 and just do the infield. And talking with the coach, that was fine. And later on down the road, if we want to be able to do the outfield, it's an easy thing to go ahead and so on. It's not, you're not blending colors. You're going from the dark brown to green, so you don't have to worry about any fading or anything like that.
Doug, do you want to talk about why we had to add the softball field to this part of the grant?
Yeah, so just talking with the Alliance, and it comes to Title IX kind of item. Because a football field will host a football, boys football, and it will host girls soccer and boys soccer, so we're -1. So that's why they suggested that we go and look at, a softball field, so it equalizes it out. It's more equitable that way. So that's where we kind of started, Danny's like, look and see how much a softball field is, what we can do with that. With just doing the softball field from page 3 to page 4, not doing an outfield, we don't have exact price yet, but the guy said it'll be a third, we'll pay 2/3 or we pay a half. So we haven't got those final numbers yet, but I did do some math at the end, so you can kind of see what we're looking at. Page 5 is just the MOU, and I'm not gonna read it over, but you have that in your hands if you want to take a look at that.
So how long is that project gonna take?
What they estimate is 2 weeks for excavation and 2 weeks to lay the turf.
Okay.
So they're talking, if everything goes well without any hiccups, we will be done by the middle of August. If there's a hiccup, we'll be done by the end of August. And we don't play our first football game until September 6th anyway. So we're on the road on the 30th, so we have a little bit of wiggle room. Everything.
Start practice.
The 19th of
Of
August.
August.
Yep. On page 9 and 10, it's just a price breakdown of everything that, kind of what it costs for them to come in and lay the turf and do the turf. And then shipping costs on the softball field could go down since we're not coming in with a whole field, but only coming with the infield. I'm gonna ask if they could roll that up and then ship it with the football field. I don't know if they can or not, but well, doesn't hurt to ask.
100%.
So that's kind of the price breakdown, everything, and I won't go into great detail. The last sheet, page 12, is just the breakdown of cost of the full football field, shipping, football field with a full softball field. I just put those numbers in to see where we're at on the price breakdown of everything. Additional thing is, new football field, going for new goalposts. And the ones I've priced, the ones I like are all aluminum. They have a safety seal yellow, they won't corrode, they won't rust. And then that's part of the excavation that they'll dig those holes and get those installed as well. And then I would like a 4-foot black nylon chain link fence that goes around the track, about a foot away from the track. It wraps in complete football field. One for spectators, they have to stay on the outside of the fence. 2, it kind of, stop people from using the field unless they do. I mean, the saying is if you have a 6-foot fence, they're gonna jump it. If you have a 12-foot fence, they're gonna cut it. So a 4-foot fence, it'll go around the track. So if you look at the very first page and look at the track,
Yeah.
it will go around the entire track.
Up here.
Yeah, all the way around the
Like
outside.
right up against it or a little bit?
We'll have like a 1 foot to 2 foot buffer away from the track.
Okay.
Yep. We'll have, landscaping inside there.
No, it does.
But-
Also keeps them. Yeah.
Yeah, and also looking, I have a fence company coming out Friday to give us a bid for that, and then also a new outfield fence, a 6-foot fence on the softball field. Just to take a look at that, because right now the softball fence is sitting at 230 feet, and it should be at 200 for high school. So we need to move it in, and then when we're redoing everything, we just want everything to look and feel like it's supposed to.
Sure. I'm assuming we're putting a banner up for our excavation.
We will do that. We told them we'll do that. We're also have, banners that are gonna go down the main fence down, Douglas.
Oh.
That just says, this is not a bond project. All the way down, we're gonna have 4 signs, so 3 on this fence, along with a thank you to Alliance CSD for the field, and then we'll put not a bond project on the district office site, because people enter this way and don't ever go down the street. So that's, the guy came out and measured, and we're just waiting for the final price for that.
So how are all the sports practicing gonna go, like soccer and football?
It's,
Yeah.
we're slowly talking about that.
Yeah.
It'll be different times. I know the girls' team this year will be practicing at Kennedy. Because we're still co-oping with Kennedy, so the
Okay.
girls are gonna practice there. They will play several of their home games. They'll split between Kennedy and us, so they get to play here. Practices will be either a rotation, a weekly rotation, or they'll have to stagger their start times. So they'll be able to have access to the turf field, because that needs to be equitable as well.
Cool, that's exciting.
Yes.
It's super exciting.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give you, I have a handout on where we're at for the other, funds. As we're talking about how to pay for, this. So if you look at, this spreadsheet, I think where you need to go is if you look at the building proceeds, building sale proceeds of Fund 243, you'll see that you have $543,552 in that account. And then with the excise tax, there's 482,223 in there. So you've got, over $1 million available to you to help with bond projects or other things that maybe need to be done that are not going to necessarily be covered by the bond. So I would recommend you just not touch that, get through this bond stuff. But if you look at Frontier Charter money, remember that charter money is your money you've been setting aside for special things. And so as of right now, as Karen's notes say, you have $1.4 million in there. In your budget you just approved, we did put in a line item where we could use up to $700,000 of that money, but we don't believe we're going to need that money. So even if you did need that money, you still have $700,000 to pay for this project. So, the bond is not gonna cover, until all the other projects get done, athletics and those athletic facilities, other than the locker rooms, don't get anything out of the bond until the very end, if there's any money left over.
Right.
And we're working on finding donors
Yeah.
we have people that are interested in redoing our bleachers in Crow's Nest. So we're talking to people are talking about fabrication companies that are like, yeah, we can do that, and we'll be happy to donate. So putting things in place and getting
Yeah.
people excited, and they want to build things up.
And then you put their names out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll post them wherever they want me to post.
Yeah.
My only question is, can you please remind me how much we have? Like our carry forward, what's that percentage that we like to have as a cushion?
The 8.33%,
Yes. Is
That-
that it?
applies to the general fund.
Fund, And we have, and what's,
I think we're
what's
at
the,
7 point something on the budget for 24-25.
Which is up from last year.
is up.
but we want to be at that.
8.33 is our goal that we're working towards.
Okay. I'm just want to make everybody aware that we need to be very conscientious of getting to that goal.
Right.
Along with this. So if I guess, Karen, my question comes back to if we were to use part of this what we're looking at, 700, 800,000.
Well, what I would suggest, what we are recommending is that you do a not to exceed amount of $600,000.
Okay, so that would give us, okay, 600,000, we have a 1.4 million there, so that gives us 800,000. If we were to add that 800,000, just to our ending general fund, what would that put us at potentially?
That would potentially put us over the 8.33.
Okay.
Definitely put us over the 8.
Excellent, that's what I wanted to
When
hear.
I'm looking at that contingency amount,
Mhm.
I'm not including the Frontier charter.
Okay.
It's off on the side,
Yes,
but technically it is a general fund.
Right.
And
but I want to make sure that we have, I myself anyways, I don't know if the rest of the board, but I myself want to make sure that we're hitting that goal and leaving enough in that fund to hit the 8.5%.
If we have to.
I,
So
yes,
to show. it.
correct.
Yeah.
And, you know, this,
That's a great
like Karen's
picture.
notes say, this doesn't account for, the May payment. And then, of course, you'll start getting your payments right away again in the fall.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I just want to make sure that we're,
Yeah.
I mean, because our people out there will bring this up, so.
And I think, yeah, I think it's important that if you were to pay for this,
Mhm.
this is a 2.2.
Yeah, I think the guy said about 2.6 to $2.8 million project if they weren't involved in this.
And we tried to include it in the bond.
And they were not,
They were not
Correct.
supportive of that.
no, but I'm very much supportive of this. I mean, I think it will create enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah. I think so too. So am I reading this right? So total right now is 615?
Uh,
615,000.
the whole, if you did the whole thing, it would be 636, 660. In total, so football field, if you did the full softball field, it'd be 636.
Yeah.
And that's why we decided to go to,
615.
Yeah, so if we did it, if we get half the cost of the softball field or the or 2/3 of the field would be 572 at 2/3 and 540 at a half.
it's page 12. and-
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just looking
Oh,
at
that,
this
yeah, that
breakout
doesn't,
here.
Yeah,
So this one is just some different.
yeah.
So, okay, and then does that that does not include the gold, so like the 540 doesn't include the gold.
No, it does not.
But we should have put those goalposts in if we're doing this at the same
Yeah.
time.
and that's why we said not to exceed 600,000. Because we don't know how much the fencing is gonna be, and so maybe the fencing is a phased approach, or
Find out and it's an extra $12,000. So we come back to you and ask that.
Or someone
just wants to donate. Or somebody just wants to.
we can put their name.
Put their name.
Every little. Yeah,
I'll cover the whole bit.
yeah.
Fine. No problem with that.
All right.
Okay.
Nice. This is good.
I'm so thankful that they have kept the grant for us for the
Yeah.
last 2 years.
They
Yeah.
didn't have to do that.
No, they didn't.
And they were very, even when we asked about the softball, I said, can we add the softball field inside the grant? And they said, absolutely. So that was another,
Another big savings there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. we didn't have to redo anything from the beginning.
Awesome.
Good, Rodney. How many schools around us have the turf right now?
There's a list.
I know Silverton for sure, right?
There's Woodburn, Silverton,
Mount Angel,
Regis, Mount Angel has grass.
grass.
Yep.
Blanchard.
Lancet has turf, yeah.
Like that.
And there's only like 20 schools that have, I think there's 22 schools have softball fields with turf. And like half of those only have the infield, so.
I mean, it makes sense, especially when we play softball.
Yeah.
At this time, and we were always raining.
Yeah, I
So
mean, ideally it'd be the whole thing, but phasing is good as well too.
I think so too. Oh, and I have one more thing. When they excavate, will they be excavating outfield at the same time and level and everything at the same?
The softball field's pretty level
Okay.
out there and it drains super well.
Okay.
So, and I think Lindsay's already found a person that will donate their time to excavate the softball field.
Oh, so we're not, Oh,
So
great.
we should pay, very little for excavation.
excavation.
I mean, if we run into an issue or a drain that we don't know about, we may have to, do something with that, but. We don't know that until we get into the ground.
Until you get into it.
I can't deal with all this amazing good news.
I know.
I don't even know what to do after 3 years.
Salt and everything, so.
So this is an action item. It's on page 48 of your packet, and there's just some language there that I would encourage the board to consider adding the not to exceed $600,000 language.
I'm sorry, how much was that?
Yeah, we can take later.
About the goalpost then.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean,
No thing to
you don't wanna deal with afterwards.
The shop guys couldn't build
I'm gonna have them build, foul poles for the softball field. That's an idea. Foul poles.
it? Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. That'd be a nice project for them to figure out, well, things is that long and things are, so.
It's on 48. Is that?
Page 48.
Started from.
Yeah.
Yeah, 48.
Are you in the old one or the new one?
I move that the Jervis School District #1 Board of Directors approves that's Frontier Charter funds
Yeah.
for the, oh yeah,
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
turf field as presented, wait, not to exceed
Mhm.
600,000 as presented by Mrs. Stevens.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Hi,
very good. Yay.
I'm super excited about this, just to let you know. I'm like gonna message all my friends. I love it. So great.
All this local work too.
I know.
That's what's
So
good. I
happy
hope our
about it. I'm
project
just so excited.
Yeah. It's good
can
stuff.
really
Great
get it.
buy-in.
Hopefully our project person is gonna be bringing in all
Yes.
of our local talent.
Well, that's a great segue into bond updates. So this afternoon, we had our walkthroughs for the potential project managers. I think we had 20 people here
Wow.
from 9 or 10 different companies. So there's quite interest. And so we gave them a 20-minute, this is how we got here, this is what we're hoping, and then we walked each building. And they asked questions, and the deadline, the projects are due on the 24th. And so once we get that, then we'll score them and give a recommendation for you at the July board meeting. We are stating both the project manager, but as we go out through the rest of the process, that we really want local, which is Willamette Valley and or Oregon, Portland, that kind of thing. Before we go out of state. So that is a priority, and for the project manager, well, and also for the construction company, that idea is we want to focus on people who have experience in remodeling old buildings, as well as experience in new construction. So it could mean that we go with 2 different people or 2 different companies, because maybe one company doesn't have the skill set that of those things. But we want it to be clear that just because you get one doesn't mean you get all. And so we had some questions about that today, and people seemed receptive to that. So that was good. I wanted to share with you the uncertified results of the bond. So this report was run last night at 10 to 6. You can see that we're still winning by almost 72% of the vote. So it's 1,211 yes to 479 no. If you go to the back page, this is the breakdown by precinct. Precinct 545 is in town. And you can see in town came out with almost 44% of the vote, which before They've
Ah,
never gotten
I did
above
think.
30%, so they showed up. They showed up in force. And we won in every precinct except for 592. And then the ones that are kind of close or that had, like 98 no's, 583. Once the dust settles, we'll map out who those voters are and do a specific outreach to them to kind of try to figure out what's the barrier, because as we progress the next 4 years, I want to make sure that we do a really good job of continuing the momentum so that when in 6 years, when the awesome grant, when we can apply for it again, we are going to have to do something with the 8th grade modular. So we need to be, as I shared today with the project managers, we need to make sure we deliver exactly what we said we were going to do. And we've got so far, I believe, 11 people who've applied for the bond oversight committee. So that closes on the 30th. And once we close that at June 30th, then I'm going to have Kyle Lair lead the team in looking at applicants with the board member and make recommendations on who to put on that committee.
How many are we looking to have on the committee?
You shouldn't have any more than 15 on the committee for a budget our size, but that also includes staff and a board member. So as I said in my report or my memo, I can't remember it was, we will need to have a board member who is committed to, and maybe every year it changes out, but we will need to have somebody that is willing to serve on that committee as well. And Kyle and I have mapped it out, and we're looking at every other month to start with, because there won't be a whole lot of things going on yet. Because we have to sell the bonds first.
Sure.
And then once we pick the project manager, then you have to start putting other things out. So that'll take some time.
Can it be a two-person?
It could.
Okay, so I think we talked about that.
You can be a two-person, you could tag team. If you both can show up, great. If you
One or
both
the
can't
other.
show up, one or
Yeah.
the other, that's fine too.
I like that.
That's what we
Good for
talked about
backup.
too, so, yeah.
So in July, I'll ask you guys to decide what that looks like.
Is July meeting, will you be here or is that gonna be?
I don't know.
It's
I
just
mean,
kind of how you're feeling,
it
right?
depends on how I feel.
Okay.
I won't be here. Jenny won't be
Oh,
here.
you won't be? Okay.
I might join virtually.
Yep.
I might have to join
July what?
Or our July regular meeting.
18th.
I'm gonna be gone.
Oh, boy.
I am too. Okay, so I'm gonna have Sandra coordinate with you guys to figure out what date in July works. Because we did this.
I know, we did this, I'm sorry, but.
It's okay.
And
I'm thinking.
I've been on top of this.
Funny.
My peeps tell me when they're leaving, and
Yeah.
like I'm going out.
But when do you guys leave though? In
I'm
July?
gonna be in New York.
I know, but what, the
The
when do you leave?
15th,
You leave on the 15th?
Yeah.
Okay, and you won't be back till
until
the,
the 20th.
so that following week then at that, we're looking at, or the week
Yeah.
before. So the 25th,
I'm just not.
or I guess it doesn't matter if it's a Thursday, right? It can be whatever.
So here's the other thing, Bill. So there are some boards that don't meet in July. My only concern with that is that you're not going to elect you have to go through the process of electing a board chair and a vice chair.
Right. Won't we have some bond stuff to pass?
You'll have well, I will need you to approve the selection of the project manager. So, I kind of feel like we have to have a meeting in July.
We do.
So,
And can it be that they could even do by Zoom?
yes,
So, I mean, I'd hate, who guys
No,
have vacation and things there, but if
as
we can
long
do
as-
it, if we could, and if we did it the third week or fourth week actually of July and around the 24th through the 26th or 22nd, 24th or 25th. Is that something that we could, would that be in time or is that too late or?
I think it would be fine because, when the project manager gets selected, Karen and I are just gonna be working on the sale of the bond stuff. So once we have our special meeting next week to say, yes, proceed,
Mhm.
there really won't be much else to do in July other than approve who the project manager is.
Okay,
And how many people did you say you're basically looking at?
I think there's 10 different, well, they all have to, we don't know that they're all going to submit a bid, a proposal, right? A qualification list. I mean, the other piece is that, well, I don't want to, so we will just make it
So
work.
that's they need to have their proposals to you by the 24th.
Yes,
So,
of June.
yes.
so could the week of the 8th, would that be possible at all?
Let me see. 'Cause Zoom had gone.
That is the only week that I have available.
I could do that day.
I mean, you could too? The week of
I
the
could,
8th?
yeah.
Yeah, see, my week of the 15th, I'm in Washington. The next week I'm in a big, same thing. I'm traveling both of those 2 weeks.
Same, end of July is hard, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gone from the 6th through the 11th. So. Our anniversary week. We're gonna be in San Diego. And I'm sorry, you said the 15th is out for you, the week of the 15th? Yep. Yeah, for you too.
And
So,
for,
what about the week of the 22nd then at that point? Or?
I'm good then.
I'm out that week. I could do the week of the 29th.
We need 3, right?
I can do that one too.
Yeah, we need 3.
Okay, so
Uh,
the week of the 29th, that is what,
I think it's
what
29th.
day is that? Sorry, like,
29th is gonna be late.
we go camping and it always depends on when the berry season is over, so we always are like very, wishy-washy.
what about the
For
12th?
the kids.
Friday the
But like, I could do the week of the 8th, I could probably do the week of the 15th.
12th.
I could do the-
Let's do the 12th.
Could you do the 12th, Angie?
That Friday?
Absolutely not, nope, huge holiday. I could do,
Okay, but I
yeah.
can.
Yeah,
So that's 4 of us.
There's 4 of us.
On the 12th?
On the
we'll
12th.
do so Angie's the only one. Is that okay, Angie?
I'm okay with, I'm sorry, yeah, it's like the first day of like, Lent is over.
Okay, so sometimes boards have special meetings during the day. Would it work better to do it at like lunchtime? We could do it virtually.
I can do that. as well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'll be home, so, I'm not going back to work till the 15th, so.
I don't, anything, I have a meeting at 9, but anything after that, I can just put it in and I can come in.
Or we
I'm
can just-
too.
or we can probably even do it by, we could do this by Zoom too, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
So an
I mean,
earlier
you would
day.
have
All
to
right,
even
so
come in.
So let it, Sandra and I kind of figure out what the July agenda looks like
but let's tentatively hold noon.
Got it.
on July 12th.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else about the bond
That you were wondering or that I didn't cover that you wanted to know about?
nope. My only thing was, we talked about already about the boiler over here. and
Yeah,
how
we-
How good our Gus did at putting it back together.
Yeah,
for
we-
the year.
Duct tape and bubble gum. And we are gonna have to put about $9,000 into it just to lump through the rest of next year.
So I had just a quick question, just because I know that I have this question from like community members. So we get the bond, when do we initially think that it'll start going into play? Like when will people start seeing
Something.
something?
that's part of the bond, sorry.
I thank you, Angie, for asking the
stir it there.
question. I'm working on a letter to send out to all voters.
To, first thank them for this, but also then to kind of give them a timeline of when they might start seeing what's going on. So I will outline, like in the month of June and July, we're selecting a project manager, and then we will select a construction company and on from there, with the idea that the soonest we'll be breaking ground, or they'll see anything start to happen, will be next spring.
I like
Because
the
we'll have
idea
to
that
get
you're like
permit.
sending messages. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's. And you're
Cool.
gonna, and you talked about communications, you're gonna hire some a communications person that will be.
Yeah, we are using some of our integrated, our SIA dollars to bring that Willamette ESD communication team on site.
Because they did such a great job in terms of helping me with all of the information. So they'll be doing things not only about the bond, but just about the district. And so, yes, there will be someone here on site once a week, and then 1 day a week off site hours. So we'll get like 16 hours of communication time a week. So that person will also be doing updates. And I mean, if you look in your packet, on the last page of your packet, you'll see the dates here. I mean, it's some of these calls, like they're gonna be on the phone like 3 hours
At a time. As they're preparing to sell the bonds, and
I love
ask us
reading this stuff.
questions.
This was.
I'm sure he did.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say I'm very unfamiliar to how that works. So like listening in, I didn't realize that they have to first be sold and so on. So I think that's important to know. Just because I didn't
And-
realize that.
They sell the bonds for us, and then we should have the money deposited.
By first part of September. So,
Nice. That makes sense. I mean, that's why it's called a bond. I never, I didn't like, I'm sorry.
no, it's fine.
Why you wouldn't know?
We haven't had one in 30 years.
Yeah. I just assumed I'm like, it's like a loan.
Yeah, I just go down, sign the paper, check.
Yeah, so it's good. So that way I can explain it to my parents because I think they're on the same page. So.
Yeah, they're like, well, how come we have, this is funny, some of the custodians after the bond passed said, how are we gonna get all this done? They thought they were gonna.
You're not building.
Oh, they're gonna have cuties. Oh, I think that's so sweet.
A lot of overtime. Yeah.
Mhm. Just
So
give
that's-
up your summer.
So I will get that communication out to people so that they have something in their hands before the end of June. And then I wanted to give you an update on some grants. So I have a meeting with Hilda, that's our grant writer, scheduled for Monday, the 24th.
And I've been kind of poking around, looking at grants to put in some pickleball courts, some outdoor pickleball. courts.
Fun.
And so I was talking to her about that, and she thinks she can find some for us. And I thought, would that be great if we could get that? And then as we're doing all of this reconfiguring, figure out a place to put it so that we can unlock the gate in the evenings or during non-school times and the public can access it, but that it needs to be, on this, close to the street, accessible, has lighting, so nobody's doing anything.
Also between the barn and the softball field.
Possible, yeah. I don't really know for sure where.
But, so we're gonna look at that, and then,
How big are pickleball courts? Sorry. How big are they? Size, are they tennis court size?
they're smaller than
they're
a tennis
smaller.
court.
Like half of a tennis.
Yes,
court.
like half of a tennis court.
Everyone is into it
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all the rage.
Yeah.
It's good for the old folk.
It is.
It
That's
is.
right. No,
Yeah.
100%.
So,
Great idea.
I
No, that's a
thought
great idea.
3 would be good because we can use it for PE or,
Yeah.
an elective, but also.
Start a new sport.
You could also they could probably even put it up, use them for badminton too.
We could, yeah, there's all sorts of things. So,
So I'm working on that. Dusty's gonna apply for the Marion County Health Grant, which is what Creighton applied for and what helped did the community fair. And so we're looking at that. That's probably close to $75,000. And then, of course, we're gonna go for the seismic upgrade again in the fall. So when we did the walkabouts today, I think what I communicated to the project managers that we'll probably go for the cafeteria seismic grant again, because it's the one coming in under 2.5 million. But it will go a long ways towards freeing up bond dollars, because
Yeah.
it covers windows and
Yes.
flooring, you know, all of that,
Mhm.
so. Yeah, it's busy.
Sounds like, well, you're always busy. All right.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, I guess it's job security, huh?
Yeah.
So, all right, good stuff. That's all I have.
Anything else? We have any, we don't have nothing else. We don't have another meeting up or, all right. We're good. Very good.
Okay.
Guys.